Welcome to the Free Your Spirit podcast. My name is Louise Wilson. I'm a mystic, healer, entrepreneur, and business coach, and I am obsessed with helping you open up the lines of communication with your spirit so that you can receive the wisdom, the guidance, the clarity, and confidence you need to reach your big goals and dreams. Welcome to episode 2 of the Free Your Spirit podcast. The theme of today's podcast is how to unlock the secrets to your soul. So at the end of this podcast, you'll know, the fastest, most effective ways in which you can access the loving guidance of your soul so you can get clarity on your soul's path and purpose this time around in this lifetime. And that will, as you do that, that's going to help you, shine a light on the next steps that you need to take, where you're going and how to get there. So, oftentimes I think, and I know I struggled with this, in those early years of my own spiritual journey, I kind of saw my soul, my spirit as something kind of out there. And I had a heck of a time figuring out how to access it. And it just seemed so much out of my reach. And my hope is that in this podcast, it's an opportunity to really demystify that whole process and journey. Because in truth, your spirit and your soul are but a breath away. And it is really easy for you to be able to dial in, to get connected, to understand more of your soul's path and purpose as you do that, as you dial in. And this is what I struggled with for such a long time, because I saw it, I knew there was a bridge, but I just didn't know how to cross it. I just didn't know how to get there. And so I think one of the things that I want to share today is, there's two things actually, and I love this analogy that I have about our spirit and our soul, because oftentimes too those terms get used interchangeably, and I think that there has a potential to be a little bit of confusion about what they are, that they're one and the same thing. If you've been in my world for some time, you'll know that I see them as two very distinct, very separate entities. And so I like to liken them to the old style, old fashioned telephones. I have one here. If you're watching my video podcast, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I think, maybe you'll remember them. They had like a docking station. So you had like two parts to it. There's a docking station, and this is the place where all of your telephone messages are stored. The history of all the people that have called you, and all the messages are stored in the docking station. And then you have the handheld receiver, and this is the movable part. You can communicate with this and you can move around and so forth. So I like to liken our spirit and soul to that old school, old style telephone system, where the docking station, to me, that is the soul. That is the place where all of the information around every lifetime we've ever lived is stored. That's the purpose of that docking station. That's the role of our soul. It holds the keys to our memory, sort of ancient past life, ancestral memory, all of the lives that we've lived, all of the experiences we've had, all of the gifts that we learned in those many, many, many lifetimes. All of that information, it doesn't disappear when each lifetime that we pass. So Buddhist philosophy on this really lands and resonates for me. And so I'm going to share it with you because, in the Buddhist philosophy, as we pass into the world of spirit, as our body dies, all of the experiences from that particular lifetime, the memory, the gifts, the abilities, the talents, all of that, it doesn't just disappear. All of that sort of cellular memory, it's stored in our chakra system. And so as we pass into the world of spirit, all of that information also moves out of our body, and it now moves to the 8th chakra, which is the seat of the soul, and that is just above the crown of our head. So that is where all of the information from all of those many lifetimes that we have lived is stored. And this is why I am so passionate about the work that I do, because as we come into this world, as we come into this lifetime, we're not just limited to our present life experience. We have a whole history, a past life history and an ancestral history. And all of that information is stored in our soul and we can access it. It's like having this infinite Rolodex of history and memory that's available to us. It lies dormant within our being, it's within our soul, and we can access it. And the fastest, most effective way for us to get our hands on that information is through guided soul journeys, guided ancestral journeys, guided past life journeys. That's how we access that docking station. That's how we access our soul. And this is the work that I so love to do and I'm called to do. This is my passion and my purpose and calling in life. And it's the work that I absolutely love to do. And so, well, you might be asking yourself, well, what's a guided soul journey, Louise? Well, essentially, and this is the power of these journeys, you go into that relaxed place. You're guided, through breath work to move into a more relaxed state and place. So you're moving into that state where your conscious mind is no longer in the driving seat, and it gives you an opportunity to access your subconscious, to access that Rolodex of soul memory, ancestral memory, past life memory, but you're doing it in a completely awake and aware state. And this is the beauty of this work, because it's not sort of hypnosis whereby, you're not awake and aware and you know what's going on. It's completely safe. You're absolutely awake and aware, but you're also just beneath the surface. You're operating just beneath the surface. And the power of this is that the experiences that you have in those soul journeys, you can now bring that information back into your present day life and integrate that awareness and knowing into your present life. So you have an opportunity to do some deep inner work, exploration, allowing you to, where necessary, revisit those past life ancestral events that you may have attached a less positive meaning to them. You have an opportunity to revisit them and to heal and release them, so you can let go of the stuff from the past, your far past, your infinite past. You can let go of that, and it can allow you to move forward in a much more powerful and empowered way. The other beautiful thing about this work is that you can also revisit and reawaken to those many ancestral and past life gifts that lie dormant within you. And so that's how you can access your soul memory. So powerful. And now I just want to talk about the spirit, because the spirit is that movable part, if you will. I was talking about the old style telephone. It's like the handheld receiver. It's the part of you that is more within you, if you will. It can move though. At nighttime, when you go to sleep, your spirit travels. You astral travel. It leaves your body. And so I think the beauty and the power of our spirit is that it's with us 24/7. And as we dream, the spirit can go out, into those other realms and help you to bring back information that can powerfully support you in your everyday life. And our spirit, it's completely safe to astral travel. We don't, the spirit doesn't fully leave the body until that time when we're ready to pass. As in the Buddhist philosophy, and at that point the spirit fully leaves the physical body. And so again, a lot of you that know me know the power of that saying by the Jesuit philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, where he says, we are spiritual beings living in human form, living in a physical body. And that is the truth, my friends. And this is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do, because it's all about helping people to unlock that memory of the totality of who we are as spiritual beings that have lived many, many lifetimes and have many gifts within us waiting to be reawakened to support us in the work that we've come to this planet to do this time around. So the more that you do the work, the more that you work with guided soul journeys, guided ancestral journeys, the more you can really understand the totality of who you are as an infinite, immortal, spiritual being. And so this is the work that I do with my clients, and it's so powerful because oftentimes clients come to me when they find themselves stuck in life. They don't understand. I've worked a lot with entrepreneurs. They're doing all of the things, but they're still not moving forward with their life. And oftentimes there's self-sabotage coming into play because somewhere in a past life or in their ancestral history, an event has happened that perhaps a traumatic event. So as an example, many of the healers that I work with, in previous lifetimes, they were persecuted for their gifts. And so obviously in this lifetime, there's a memory of it's not safe. It really isn't safe for me to do this work. And so at a deep subconscious level, even though they're doing all of the things that should be moving them forward, there's this subtle self-sabotage going on because deep down at a deep subconscious level, there's a belief that, hey, it's not safe for you to be doing this. So I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to keep you invisible. We're going to throw a few little spanners in the works, slow you down, or put those brakes on to stop you from getting too visible. And so that again is something that I've helped my clients with. And also what I found is that many clients come to me where they're feeling stuck or confused. They're just not sure on their next steps. They know within the core of their being, they know that there's something more for them in life, but they just don't know how to get there. And I don't know if this is resonating for you. Maybe you also know that you have a purpose, that there is something more for you in this lifetime. Or maybe you're feeling stuck and you don't have a clue, but you know that what you're doing right now isn't cutting it for you. And I would say that in either of those scenarios, you're right? If you're feeling that, you are right. And it's part of you, very deep, ancient part of you, your soul, your spirit is nudging you, saying, hey, this isn't the right track. You need to kind of connect. I'm trying to point you and push you in the right direction. And oftentimes, if we don't listen, if we don't do the work, then oftentimes some pretty big events can happen that will force us to wake up. And that's what happened to me. And I talked about this in my inaugural episode of this podcast, where when I moved to Amsterdam, I had a major life event happen that was probably one of the most challenging experiences of my life. But as I look back, it was such a powerful, beautiful experience because it really pushed me on my spiritual path. I needed that wake-up call. But oftentimes clients come to me before that happens because they know I've got to change things. See, I didn't know back then, 25 years ago, that I was off track. I was unhappy, but I just was, this is it. Got to suck it up. But I wasn't searching for change. And if you're listening to this podcast, my guess is that there's a part of you that knows in a way, you know what, not cutting it for me, but I've got to figure this thing out. And one of the beautiful processes that I have, or little workshops that I have, that I found to consistently give my clients powerful results, is the Unlock the Secrets to Your Soul workshop. And I love to facilitate that workshop because in less than a few hours, my clients are able to actually get crystal clear on their next steps in life, what they value most, what they're yearning for. They can get very clear very quickly where they are in their life, where they're off track, and what they need to do, what seeds they need to plant for their future. It's such a powerful, powerful workshop. And within that container of that sacred space where we work together, we do that deep soul work. It's such a beautiful process. It's a creative process where, you know, you create your vision for your future. And I just love the massive, like, aha moments that people have as a result of going through that sort of deep spiritual experience within that workshop. So yeah, you know what, folks? It's not as difficult as you may think to get dialed in, to get tapped in. I wished I knew 15 years ago what I know now, how simple it truly is once you have the tools to get dialed in, to give you the clarity, the answers, and the confidence and courage to really go for your big goals and dreams in life. So there you have it. Episode 2 of our podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If this podcast has resonated for you or landed for you, I'd love it if you would leave a review in iTunes. And if you write your review, before you submit it, take a screenshot of it and then submit it. But send your review to my team at hello@louise-wilson.com, and we would love to gift you a guided ancestral journey that we've created just for you as a gift and a thank you. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If my Unlock the Secrets to Your Soul workshop, if you feel piqued or drawn or intrigued to maybe check this out, simply go on over to my website, www.louise-wilson.com, and click to the Work With Me page, and you'll find all of the juicy details there. Alrighty, folks, so beautiful to be here. Thank you so much for joining me today and for pressing play, and many, many, many blessings to you, my fellow soul traveler, and bye for now.